Yeah, so welcome to tonight's Wednesday night training call. We did this not that long ago. We used to do every Wednesday night, and over the Christmas period and stuff, we sort of slowed down with it. So I'd love to bring that back and kick that in again. Yeah, I used to like the chat bar. Yeah, you're right, Dee. All good, honey. No wuckers at all. Yeah, so I would love to bring that back. And there's been a few accelerated boot camps and other trainings that we see happening around. So I don't want you guys to feel overwhelmed with it all. And I would love to create a place where I'm going to sort of take the best out of all of them and be able to bring it to you. Hang on now, Jess is messaging me. Find it. It is in here, Jess. Where is it? Sorry, guys. Just 2 seconds. Okay. Yeah, so, and the VP Acceleration Group is amazing. That's like a weekly, a different topic each week. It's great for if you've got your eyes on vice presidency and you want to achieve that quickly. So it's full on, like it's a big accountability group, but just know that that's there if you want to be a part of it. Kelly did a rocking training in there this week about product presentations, which was really awesome. So it's one of those groups where you get lots of notifications from it though. So just be aware of what it is. I mean, if you go in there and you decide it's too much and it's not for you, you can just leave it. You might go in there and love it and want to get lots and lots out of it. So just know that that's there. The other thing I wanted to mention quickly is that Eric Worre video I shared the other week with his tips from Jim Rohn. Did you guys see that? Did you see that one, Ames? I saw your comment on it, Anita. And
yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Ran off to the kids. He spoke a lot about personal development and why it's so important. So if you haven't seen that video, it only goes for like 4 minutes, I think. I can send it to you via a link if you like, Mads. It's just a really short, quick video to explain why the mindset is linked so much to success. But he explains it in such a powerful way that it's like, oh, you know, you get on trainings for hours to try to get that punchline that he delivers in 4 minutes. So it's a really great little video. So what I wanted to focus on tonight is vision. And I know I've been talking about vision so much lately, especially starting into a new year, because I truly believe it's 90% of your business is your vision and where you can see your business going. I love how Debbie Neal says your business will never surpass your vision. And it's so, so true. So, and this is, you know, a place that you really can dream big. We're so used to having a job, and in a job where we're capped on our vision because we make what we can from our paycheck, if that makes sense. And that's what we make the best our lives can be from our paycheck. So we're capped on that. Whereas in a business like Arbonne, there's no cap. You can dream as big as you like. I've met people in this business who make $350,000 a month. So you can vision it as big as you want to go. And I think that's so exciting and something to really, you know, run with and let your imagination go wild. And I know, especially in Australia, we're really conditioned to, you know, I remember my mum saying to me many times from a place of love, oh, be careful, honey, because you probably won't achieve that. You know, thinking that big. And, you know, like it was just, I don't know if you guys know what I mean, hearing that sort of stuff, like she was protecting me. But I think it's just something that has been so conditioned into us, like, oh, when you grow up, you're probably not going to be able to build a house that big. You know, like, let's get realistic again. And you probably won't be able to get a house that close to the water. And you probably won't get a husband who helps you that much. You know, and all these things that start to really affect how big we dream and how big we vision. And I think it's really important. So, because if you don't have any vision, if your vision isn't big, you have no passion. If you have no passion, you have no energy. And if you have no energy, you're going to be vibrating, hey, Stace, at a really low frequency. Yeah? We can all agree with that. And, you know, I was chatting with Ames in the last few days, and Amy's really tapped into this vision. I'm going to get her to share with us soon. But Ames is really tapped into broadening her vision and getting her vision larger. And I can feel the energy in Amy the difference in the last few weeks, just in that. You know, the words aren't different. Her wording's the same. Her thought pattern's the same. Well, sorry, her thought pattern's very, very different, but her skill set is the same. But now that she has a bigger, clearer vision, her energy is different. And the energy is ultimately in this style of business. That's what people join. And that's what people want to be a part of, is the energy that you bring to the table. So no vision, no passion, no energy, no vibration, right? And I shared that video this morning about the atoms, how we create our atoms, the science behind the energy we create. Deanne, you must have loved it. I was watching it thinking Deanne will love this. Deanne's a science teacher. Should have been all over it. Yeah, I thought you would. But it was really great. It was an incredible little thing to, I'm such a person who loves the evidence of stuff, and I'm not big on hoodoo voodoo, stuff like that. So when I hear about that we create energies and we create vibrations, I'm like, oh, and then I see that and I'm like, oh, we actually do. I see the science. It makes sense now. I'll do it now. So yeah, and you know, when you are in that level of lots of, I'm reading my own notes today. Usually I type them up and I struggle to read my own handwriting. So sorry about that. But when you have that when you're on that high frequency, right, when you've got that big vision, do you notice, can you guys relate to this, when say you've gone to bed at night and you're really in a great mood and you're dreaming big tonight, and then you'll lay there and then all of a sudden out of nowhere someone will pop into your mind and you're like, I can't believe I didn't think of that person. Oh yeah, could totally talk to that person. They would be great at this business and I would love working with them. And you're like, why haven't I thought of them in the last 12 months? Do you know what I mean? That's where the ideas and the excitement and everything happens. So it all really starts with that vision and, you know, being in touch with what you really, truly want. So a great way to start with that, to create your vision, is to simply write down what you really want. So if you guys all got pen and paper in front of you now, and I want you to think about why you started your Arbonne business, like, you know, in one sentence, why you started. And be really honest with yourself. Just one quick sentence, why you started. And reading that sentence, was it a statistic or is it based on excitement? Did you start because the products are pure, safe and beneficial? Or did you start because you were excited at the idea of financial freedom? Did you start because network marketing is the fastest growing industry in the world? No. Like, that stuff's great. You know, that information's great. The products are fantastic. They're in line with the future. And, you know, you want to be smart when you're joining a company. But the reason you started is the reason other people will start. So make sure that when you're telling people what you do and you're offering the business to people, that you're painting that vision, that you're asking with vision and that excitement. So I would love you to now write down 10 things that you would really love in your life, 10 things that you want. And guys, don't be realistic. Just be honest. The 10 things that you want, because the first thing we immediately do is go, let's be realistic. You know, I've written this list so many times, and each time it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and crazier. And I think it makes my husband stop breathing for a second when he sees it. But it's exciting, you know, and think about how much money you want to earn on a yearly basis or monthly or whatever. There might be certain charities you'd love to be able to volunteer your time to, you know, things that are in line with what you're passionate about changing in the world. It might be more family time. It might be having a family. It might be building a house. It might be traveling more. It might be having a nanny. It might be having an educator. I was talking to a lady the other day who said that she would love to be able, she loves homeschooling her children. She lives in the next town. And she was saying to me, I would just love to be able to afford to pay someone to homeschool my kids, to have an educator that come here and did it. And, you know, and you can do like correspondence stuff, but it's more expensive. So, like, you know, the sky's the limit, guys. Really think about the little things that you would love to have. Because this list, are you right? Like, write it down, because this list is what gets you up in the morning. That's what gets you excited. And that's what creates that energy. You don't get up in the morning. You don't say you've got to start work at 7. So, you know, you might decide, I want to get my Arbonne stuff done before I get to work because I'm too tired in the afternoons when I get home. So I'm going to set my alarm for 4:30 in the morning, which means I need to be bed at 8:30 at night to get my good night's sleep. And then when that alarm goes off at 4:30, if you're not in line with these 10 things that you really want to achieve and why you started and what you want to do, getting up is I don't know about you guys. Some people are just gifted morning people. I know Deanne and Amy are quite morning people. I'm like the Grim Reaper in the mornings. And to get me out of the bed, I have got to be in touch with my goals big time. I actually have them framed next to my bed. It helps me get up. So, you do what works, but just the idea of getting up early to pay some more bills, that's not going to work. That's not going to get you up. Your legs will, in their relaxation moments, are going to be screaming at you, leave me alone. I'm not moving. Maybe that's just my legs. I already said all that. I'm ahead of the game. So how are you guys going with your 10? Do you want to take a minute to write it down, or are you good? Yeah, especially if you've been up and down during the night. So true. With them 10 things that you've written down, them 10 things that you would love to have in your life, that you would love to do, I want you to write them into a paragraph. Convert them into a paragraph, like a paragraph in your journal, for example, where you can turn it into your day. So, for example, you might write a journal entry and say, I woke up nice and early this morning, and don't do this now. This is just to do with your 10 things later. You might have been able to have breakfast with your husband, and he might have been able to come home and have lunch together, or you might be organising a trip somewhere. You might be going to volunteer your time somewhere. Whatever it is, what is an ideal day for you when you have these 10 things? That is your vision. Yeah? Does that excite you a little bit? That's ultimately, when you're being really honest with yourself, that's ultimately what you want to achieve in this life. And, I say it all the time, and I know that I'm a crazy person because I work at a high vision level all the time. So I'm constantly playing big, if that makes sense. And, I love everyone where they're at, and I remember my journey so well. And if I compared my vision now to my vision when I first started, they're completely different. So different. It's a process and it's a learning thing. But just know, when you come to talk to me about vision, I'm probably going to encourage you to double what you've written down, because that's what I'm like. That's my energy and that's my frequency, if that makes sense. That's your ultimate vision. And what I want to show you guys, and what obviously you're here for, because you're starting to see, or you fully see, is that Arbonne can be your vehicle to that vision so much. And that's all it is. And Arbonne's a really simple business. All we do is Arbonnize our house. And everyone on the phone, on the computer screen already, has pretty much Arbonnized their entire home. If there's something that Arbonne does, they've got it. They wouldn't choose something else over it, which is pretty cool. So, and that's all we do as a business, is we do that, and we teach and train and show other people how they can do that too. And the compound effect of doing this over time creates a massive lucrative residual income, which is really cool. So it's not about one person doing a huge amount. It's just a lot of people doing a little bit, compounded over time, creates a nation. So cool. Anyway, I'm getting excited about it, because we kind of overthink so many things. Who can agree that they're a bit of an overthinker? Because I'm such an overthinker, and I analyze everything and I overthink everything. But when you really strip it back and pull it back to basics, that's really what it is. And when you're asking someone to share their vision and their dream with you, if someone, women overthink for sure. When you're asking someone to share their vision with you, or someone's interested in your business, and you say, what would you love to achieve from this? What's your dream? And they share it with you. That's when I relate it. I know my stories. You know how I talk all the time about how I know I watch an Eye on Arbonne every day, and little things like that. They're 4-minute videos that are on YouTube called Eye on Arbonne's, and they're our Aussie leaders, our Aussie top leaders, and they share their story in a few minutes of what they used to do, how they got out of it, what they've created with Arbonne, why they love their Arbonne business, and they're really inspiring. But I love seeing the adversity, the differences in all of their backgrounds and all of their types of people, all ages, all backgrounds, male and female, 95% female, 5% male, but we're hoping to change that, which is pretty cool. But, you know, Aussie men are a lot more, you know, chiseled than American men, I think. Anyway, getting off track, that's what I do. So yeah, relate it to a story. When someone says that to you, when they're sharing their dream with you, relate it back to a story, because that is what people join you for every time, 100%. If they just love the products, they just continue to use the products you know, they love the products, they sell themselves. But ultimately creating an Arbonne business and creating a team, that's what creates that residual income. And that is all up to you. People join you as a leader and as someone that they want to work with. Do you know Ian Pritchard? He's the #1 income earner in the UK. He's had 5 people sponsored in his first 4 days in the business. How insane is that? In 4 days, he's sponsored 5 people. Your vision and your vibe attracts your tribe, 100%. He come into the business like a bubbling ball of energy straight out of the gates. He wasn't, do you think he had all the statistics down pat then, like in the first 4 days? No, he just had a vision and he could see what he was going to achieve. So, yeah, as I said, lead with a really big picture. The Iron Arbonnes. Facts tell, stories sell. We hear that all the time. When I was a district manager, you know, when I first started my business as a consultant, as a district, as an area, that's exactly what I did. I would share where I was going and I would relate it to stories. So, you know, because people often say to me, oh, well, it's easier for you to open up a party and share your story. You've got the car, or you've reached this level, or you're earning 5 figures a month from your business. So you can say these things, but no one starts there. You know, we all start in that same spot. And I just got very good at painting the picture of where I was going and why I was doing Arbonne, why I chose to do Arbonne instead of my family daycare, why I chose to leave that and take a risk and try something like this. And that inspires people, because so many people, as you guys know, more people than we realize are feeling anxiety right now at the thought of going back to work tomorrow. They can feel it in their stomach. They're feeling anxiety over that their child might be feeling a bit ill tonight and they're worried that they're going to have to take them to daycare tomorrow, or the way their boss treats them at work, or how far they've got to drive, or all these sorts of things are going through their mind, or how they're going to pay their mortgage this month and things like that. And they're having reactions to skin products. I have so many people come into my business purely because they couldn't use anything else, because our products on the market today are so nasty. And, you know, you hear all the time about people getting sick and all these things that are in relation to the nasties, things that we use. People still using products that are tested on animals. It's sickening to know what's going on in that. So I think it's, you know, something that we really need to understand is that when we paint our vision of why we left what we were doing and why we can see something better, so many people are looking for that, like really deeply looking for that. And when you tap into actually helping people, that energy that I was talking about before, times it by a million, because it's just out of this world. It just starts to blow off you when you see that people are achieving things that they never thought they could achieve, and they're not having to do things that they hated doing anymore. It's so exciting. It's such a great place to be. So imagine yourself building your region, right? You want to, you know, no matter where you are today, you want to be aiming at building something. You know, I'm not saying that you need to build your region this year. I'm just saying ultimately that's kind of the picture, right? Like you want to build a team that's going to give you that financial freedom and change those lives and have that vibe that attracts your tribe thing going on, have like-minded people that you love working with all the time. And I love, Cassandra House gave me this analogy and I have worked with it for the last 2 years. I always stop and picture it. She goes, when you're building your region, visualize a huge building, like the most beautiful building you've ever seen, exactly like you see it, in the prime location you see it. Some people might see it on waterfront. Some people might see it overlooking paddocks, or, you know, whatever it is. However, whatever you see the windows of that top floor overlooking. And I picture a big round table in the middle, and there's 10 seats around that table. And they are your 10 leaders that are going to be in the business with you. That is your empire that you're going to create. And, you know, when I think about this, because I stop and think often when I meet, you follow your intuition, right? When I meet someone and I think, geez, they've got leadership potential. I think that they could do amazing at this business. They're so kind, they're adventurous, they're out there, they're chatty, whatever. and I picture them at that table. I'm like, I can see them at that table, because I would only put someone at that table who I would be proud to work with, who, you know, you don't want seat warmers at that table. You know what I mean? You don't want people who are just going to sit there and doodle. You know, that's for people who are going to be like you. That's for leaders. That's for people who you can see are passionate about helping other people. People who you can see will fall in love with helping other people the way that you have. So I'm so off track. Has this been okay, guys? It's because I'm trying to make sense of my notes. Sorry. So jumping from that to a statistic, did you know that the average in network marketing, on average, 3 out of 10 people that you ask to join your business. I'm not saying that you tell your business to, because we kind of get in the habit of doing that. People say, what do you do? We tell them. They don't ask to join, so we count that as someone we've asked, but it's not. Someone that you've asked is someone you've sat down and said, I want to show you this business. I think you would be great at it. That's someone that you've asked to join your business. So out of 10 people that you ask to join or look at your business, 3 will join you. That's the average statistic. That changes as you change. You know, the longer you've been in the business, obviously, the better your skill set gets and things like that. But so when you think of it like that, how quickly do you think you can sponsor and put 10 people in those seats? Asking if you got 3 out of 10. Crazy, right? You think about it and go, oh, it's actually probably really wouldn't take that long. But we see it as such a big thing first. So, you know, planning is everything. But it's not where to find, you know, we start to think, oh, where am I going to find 10 people though? How am I going to find that? But it's when you start asking, sorry guys, when you start asking, the 10 people just start to show up. Has anyone been in that situation before? Amy, you have. Actually, Amy, can you take the floor for a second and tell us the power of when you just start asking out in your community and stuff, and the activity and things that you can create? Because you've been a little fireball in the last 2 weeks since really working on your vision and getting that down pat. And I think the business, from what I can see with you, is coming really naturally from you now. You know, like you're at that place where you don't feel the fear and the anxiety to just talk to people. You're like, you know what, I'm just going to talk to them. And amazing things have been happening. So I'll stop talking. Take it away, Aim. Share with us what we were talking about today on the phone.
I think this month I've just, as you know, Danny, I've focused on my vision. I've been recording my vision and sending it to Danny via Facebook Messenger every single day. At the start, it was really shit. Like 2 weeks ago. It was terrible. Like looking back, I'm like, oh God. But like anything, just practiced, said it every single day. I've been saying it to myself. I felt almost crazy, like a crazy woman, saying it over and over again. But I think it's been the best thing, because I think now that I'm starting to get more of a stronger vision, it helps release a bit of the fear. And I was talking to Danny today. I just thought, stuff it. I'm just going to ask people. I really need to meet some new people, because you know how you get sort of stuck in that asking the same people and they say no, or like you ask someone for a party and you've asked them last month and they're still saying no. And I just got to this point where I was like, you know what, I need to step outside my comfort zone and meet some new people. So I was talking to a guy through my day job. We have to ring up the fireys and police and everything, and I spoke to a firefighter and just started talking about, because we're expecting a baby in April and they've got a little bub, and he said, oh, my wife actually has some baby stuff. If you'd like to, I'll give you her number and you can come over. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like I'd been building a rapport with this dude for a while. And then I ended up going over and got the baby stuff and had a big chat to her. I got to know her a little bit. She was a stranger. Like it was out of my comfort zone. But and then right at the end, I just thought, that's it, I'm just going to do it. And I said to her, as we were walking, her and a little boy came to walk me out. And I said, I had mentioned the business to her because she asked me what I do. And, and she said, I said, oh, we should meet up next week and grab a cuppa. And I'd love to bring some products over and pamper you because you're a mom and you're so busy and everything. And she said, really? I said, yeah. And she said, oh, that'd be awesome. I'd love that. And so I pampered her today. She's like, I got to share my vision with her, and she's like loved everything. She even sent me a text before saying, oh my gosh, my skin feels amazing. So yeah, she's just like, she's going to order a lot of stuff. And there was another lady, I was at the John Farnham concert and I was in line up for like half an hour to order dinner. And I just started chatting to this lady. We were talking about birth. And she started telling me all these things about birth, and I was asking her all these questions. I didn't even mention the business to her. And I said, you know what, I'd love to add you on Facebook because you're just so knowledgeable. And if I have any questions down the track, she said, yeah, I'd love that. And I think like putting it on the other person, you know, like that's, they think, oh, wow, if someone says I want to add you to Facebook because you've been so helpful, of course you're going to say yes. Didn't even mention the business. And then I mentioned it to her via Facebook Messenger and said, I'd love to come round and pamper you. And she said, oh, that'd be awesome. So I'm doing that next week. And then the third one is a student at my yoga classes who's been coming for a while. We've become good friends, but actually not good friends, but we went for a walk. I just said, let's go for a walk. And I mentioned the business there and shared my vision again. And she said, oh my gosh, if you can do that, that's amazing. And this is a doctor. So I guess I had that big, like, you know, like you look at doctors as if, oh, you know, they've got it all worked out. And she said to me, I was really shocked when she said, oh my gosh, that's so cool that you can, you know, if you can have all that. Like I shared my vision of not going back to work when I finished maternity leave and having time freedom and being at home with my babies. And you could just see in her eyes that even though she was a doctor, like they work crazy hours. And yeah, she's having a couple of girlfriends over this Friday. So yeah, that's the three.
That was awesome. That was so great. And it makes me so excited because I've watched your journey, you know, and to see you coming into your greatness and having the courage to ask, because it's, you know, a very common saying in network marketing is you'll always have the business that you ask for, because it's so true. You know, people today, that, you know, as soon as you start asking, it's insane what starts happening. And even just little things like, hey, can I add you on Facebook? And, you know, hey, I'd love to pop in and give you a pamper. For some reason, all this fear, and I call it the itty bitty shitty committee, gets into our mind and starts to say, oh no, if you ask her, she's going to think this and she's going to think that. And if you ask her now, she's going to think this. And oh, now it's too late to ask her. I should have asked her when it was at the time, but I didn't ask her then. And, you know, that was last week. So it's probably too late now. And all this just rot starts to roll through our head. And the reality is they're like, people are loving it. They're like, yeah, I'd love a pamper. That sounds amazing. My skin feels great. Thank you so much for that lovely afternoon. That was really great. You know, for some reason we have this issue, and it's really bad in Australia. They spoke to us about it in America, where we have this big fear of being a seller. You know, can you guys relate to that? Oh, I can't be a salesperson. We just think car salesman, you know, like all this stuff starts to go through our mind. And we really need to change that, you know. And a lot of people were saying exactly what went through my mind. Yeah, that's exactly right. Like, and you know what? People are so wrapped up in their own lives and what they've got going on that they really don't have time to stop and cast judgment. And, you know, Maddie, when I reached out to you that time and asked you about my idea of getting a few friends over, were you like, I can't believe she asked me that? You know, like it just not like people are like, oh, you know, I reached out, I asked a couple, I don't know if it'll really work. No worries. Like it's all good. Some can, you know, some, you know, in a few months' time later, you might say, actually, you know what, I got a few friends over. Do you want to do that pamper again or whatever? Like that's how the business rolls. And I've had so many people in my business, you know, that when I first started, I didn't know. I never knew from a bar of soap. I met them later in places like Amy was saying. I remember meeting a lady at a car wash. She's one of my best preferred clients now. And we were just chatting while our cars were getting washed, having a coffee. She commented on my necklace. I added her on Facebook. Same thing. We started chatting about what we do. I met up with her again and gave her a facial. She loved everything and she's bought everything ever since. So, yeah, you get the business that you ask for 100%. And don't be afraid to be a seller, guys. You're offering a solution to a need. You know, think of it like that. Who loves their skin since using Arbonne? Who loves how they feel since using the nutrition? Like we're just offering a need to other people, and it's something that, you know, we really need to be proud of. You know, and on a side note, The people who make the most amount of money in all the world are salespeople. So when you want to create, you've got one life, and if you want to create that financial freedom, you're probably going to be a salesperson in something. It's just the reality of it. So why not be standing behind a product that you really, really love, you know, that you want to back every step of the way. And I reckon it's so cool that in this business, in network marketing, and especially in Arbonne, we've got a company like who's gonna, with nearly 40 years experience, they know the market, they know what it's like out there. We've got leading biologists putting the product together, but it's our business. You know, we're getting handed an amazing product. It's like, here, sell it. It's your business. It's your product. You do what you want to do, and you create your business the way you want to create it. It's 100% up to you. There's no rules here. It's awesome. And, you know, just some side notes on Ames. Did you notice how she built rapport first? You know, like a lot of questions, a lot about them. People love to talk about themselves. Love it. You know, it's so nice to finally meet someone who's interested in you instead of trying to get you interested in them. It's a really refreshing thing. So ask a lot of questions and ensure that they are always talking more than you. If you notice in your conversation that you've been doing most of the talking, stop and pull up and go, oh, I need to revert this over, and let them do the rest. And then it's just on the way out, you know, as the conversation's ending, that you drop it, that you mention something in there about my business. And you know how, actually, you know how I was just telling you about what I do? Yeah. Well, I would love to pamper you and show you some of the products. I think that you would really love it. And, you know, I love coming around, and I'd love to get to see you again. And that's it. I'd love that. That sounds really nice. I've actually been looking for a foundation. I hear that all the time. Everyone's looking for a foundation, one that's good and in line with where the world's going. Okay, so where am I up to? So, you know, when you're concentrating on your vision, guys, I want you to really visualize your 10, what they look like, how they make you feel. Don't let people around you ever drop your vision. You know, like as you go through the process of talking to people and putting yourself out there, and you might visualize someone who's going to be in your business and, you know, they're not supportive. One of my closest, dearest friends to me, she's actually my daughter's godmother. She was so close to me. I immediately pictured her at my table. I was like, I would love to work with her forever. She laughed at me and made me feel horrible about choosing to do network marketing. She told me that I'd never earn a car, that I was stupid if I thought I was, you know, all this sort of stuff. And it crippled me, you know, and it took me a bit to recover from that. But when I look back, I think, oh, I wish I had just went, oh, you know what? That's okay. She's just not at that level to see what I see. That's all it is. You know, people are just, she's had other people influencing her opinion on it. She's never really done it, looked into it, seen it, understood it. So that's a reflection on them. It's not a reflection on you. And be so protective of your vision. Once you've written your vision out and you've painted it and you can see it, and you can see the 10, or you can see the type of 10, you know, the personalities and what it is, protect that. Hold it dear to you and don't let anyone. And yeah, I did prove it wrong. Thanks, Ames. I think it was part of my fuel. I think it ended up being my fuel a little bit. Where am I up to? And when you hear no's today, and Ames, you could agree with this, everyone on the call who's been out and randomly asked people and you have got no's, was it like no worries? You know, it is, right? It's like, oh, that's okay. No worries. It's all good. It's not like, I'm going to go cry now. It's not like, you know, this thing that we think like, what if she says no? That vision you've got sitting there in front of you, when the next time you go to ask someone and you get fearful, just know that you're saying, this isn't, I'm not going to go for this, because if they say no, the feeling of that will be worse than never even trying to go for this. Do you get what I mean? Does that make sense? And it's so silly. It's so silly. It's like, I remember on a training I did once, and she said, you know, when you go and get takeout somewhere and the lady says, do you want fries with that? Or do you want a drink with that? And you go, oh, no, thanks. I just want the wrap. Do they go, oh, I'm so embarrassed that I asked her if she wanted fries with that? You know, like it's just work. It's just what it is. It's don't overthink it, guys. Just, you've got to ask. You've got to put yourself out there. There are always a no worries or a not yet. If I had $1 for everyone who on this screen said no first. D, you said no to a different consultant, not to me. But Ames said no first. You would have said no for probably a good 12 months. Yeah, Deanne had 2 other outbound consultants that she said no to first. Was it the vision that you joined Dee, do you think? And the energy? She'll be typing away because she's got babies around her. But yeah, so they didn't even really ask me, to be honest. Yeah, and that's exactly right. They didn't ask. They probably would have had you in their business if they had have sat you down and asked you and explained it properly, but they were too scared to ask you. Well, I'm glad they were. Just saying, so glad they didn't. Me too. Everything happens for a reason. But guys, there's one thing that you put on your fridge tonight after this call, you get the business you ask for. Should be it. So, we've got our DMO. Oh gosh, I'm going way over time. I'm like halfway through my notes. If you want to hop off at any point because it's getting late, just hop off. I'm recording the call anyway, so I'm just going to keep going and get through what I wanted to talk about tonight. So you're welcome to hop on and see the rest, or if you want to just stay on and you're enjoying it and you want to hear the rest anyway, all good. I understand if you've all been working and you're tired. I'll leave that bit actually because I can get back to that later. So, we have what we call our daily method of operation. This is what I call your DMO, which is where you have one ask, which is like, asking someone to look at your business, one product sample, and one follow-up. And I have a chart that has the Mercedes-Benz symbol in it, like that. And I have one up for every day of the month. And every day I tick each third when I've done it. And I'm not going to tell you that at the end of the month they're full of ticks, because that would make me a big fat liar, because some days I don't get to it, but most days I do, and I'm very all over it. And it's something that only takes 10 minutes. So you can get to it and tick it off. So, you might meet someone at your school or whatever and hand them a tote bag. Tick the product section. You might send someone a text message and say, hey, I just wanted to follow up on that sample pack I posted you in the mail. Tick on the follow-up. And then you might have someone to say, hey, I'd love to grab a coffee with you and explain to you what I've just got myself into. I've been thinking about you with it lately. Tick. See what I mean? That is the part of the business. That's 3 asks. I promise, I can't promise, but honestly, I do promise, take it to the bank, that if you did that, them 3 asks, as simple as that, every day for 12 months, you would have a Mercedes-Benz in your driveway by the end of the year. For sure. That's all I did. I just got out there and I asked, and I showed people the products, and I showed people the business, and I followed up effectively. That's it. I read every day. I'm such a reader. I'm reading this at the moment. I was reading it while I was waiting for you guys to hop on. Amazing book. If you haven't got a book right now in your hands, get this one. I know I give you guys new books all the time, something I do, but incredible book. It's, and I think every time I read a new book, I go, it's my new favorite, but it is a really good book. It's great. All about leadership. And as you guys know, that's what I'm so passionate that this business is all about. Did you get that? I know. I don't share books. I'm shocking for it. Amy knows. She's having a dig at me. Only because I've done it so many times. I share books with you, honey. The author is Chris Brady and Oren Woodward. You get it. Okay, this is why the call's going forever, because I'm dragging it right out. I've said all of that. So, when you, hang on. Yeah. So, yeah, and guys, when you do that, when you do your DMO like that, this is the power of this business, is it's everything you do is so duplicatable. So if you're doing a DMO like that and you're running your system effectively like that, and then someone says to you, I love your vision, I love where you're going, I too don't like what I'm doing and I'm looking for an extra income, I want to learn what you're doing, and they jump on board, guess what they're going to do? Whatever you're doing. You might not have a team yet, but you're a leader. This is a business of leadership. 100%. You can't, the moment you start telling people to do things that you're not doing, you become a manager. Managers don't stand in this sort of business. I would never coach out something to you guys that I'm not willing to do myself, ever. I do it all myself, 100%. It starts with me, and I know that. And I know that as a leader, that's my sole responsibility. And I would never hesitate to get into the trenches with you guys and do exactly what you need me to do and be where you need me to be. I'm so passionate about that. And So, you know, when you think about the levels of the business and how it works, do you know the car level, for example, is so the area manager level is you plus 3 others doing your DMO. You plus 3. That equals area manager. The average area manager earns about $3,000 a month. You're still doing the exact same thing. You've just duplicated it now, and now you're being paid on time leverage. A region is you and 16 people, not direct to you, 16. So you might have sponsored 4, who sponsored 4, who sponsored 4. There's your car. Can you see how that works? And it's, you know, when I say you're people who do their DMO, because your DMO usually comes in at around that 2,500 QV a month. So what does 2,500 QV looks like? It's like a couple of ASVP nutrition packs, a couple of ASVP new RE9 sets. It might be a new consultant, you know, like it's like that. And when you add it up like that, you can see like a region doesn't just happen, you create it. You don't just become a region, you create a region. Think bricks and mortar, you build the wall. It's the same thing. And, you know, the DMO really can be done in 10 minutes. It's insane how fast that can be done in little asks. It's just that we overthink it and we count the thinking time as doing time. So because we've been thinking about doing the DMO all morning, we feel exhausted. We haven't even done it yet because we've been overthinking the people that we're thinking about asking. Do you get what I mean? And then we get to do the DMO and we're like, oh, that took all day. But it actually took 2 minutes to ask the question. So don't overthink it. When I went to that entrepreneur summit with Stacey, who's on the screen there as well, Stacey was so kind to purchase myself a ticket and take me with her to go to it. And we had the best day. And they said in there that the number one thing holding people back from being successful in their businesses is overthinking. Successful people make decisions and they just do it. And it's so, so true. Okay. So, I'll just get into it. I talk to you guys all the time about success is a mindset. Yeah, it's a heart set. And a lot of the times this, you know, your skill set's great. You can think I've got my vision, my 10 things written out in here. I've got my perfect day written out. I know why I'm here. I've got that down pat. I understand how the business works. I understand the DMO. I understand I need to ask and build a business. But if you are still having an issue making that happen, 9 times out of 10, it's a mindset, heart set thing. And it's about bridging that gap, which is done through personal development. So that's why this is the glue to holding it all together. When you start your day with something like that, that itty bitty shitty committee has no chance in your mind. None. You've like done push-ups and you're like strengthened your mind so that you're ready. You're viewing things the right way. You know, you're in the winning mind frame. Basically, you're in that success mind frame. And like I said before, I will always be preparing you for the top of the company. I always talk region. I always talk nation. It's just me. It's who I am as a leader. I love and respect everyone where they're at, 100%. But please just know that's just something I do. I can't help it. I'm a visionary and I'm like here to play all out always. So when you come to me for help, I guide you and because I immediately, everyone on the screen, I can picture you, whether you can or can't yet, I can picture you at the top of the company and I can picture your face there crystal clear. And it's because I can see leadership in your heart. I can see that as a part of who you are. You know, and I don't just say that, I truly mean that. I wouldn't be spending my time and blood, sweat and tears and stuff with you guys to help you if I didn't see that. So, yeah, I always say, if you could see in you what I can see in you, you'd be moving mountains. But often we need to just bridge that gap in our mindset. I needed to bridge it so bad. When I first joined, I thank God for Stacey, Kelly and Cass every day for really helping me bridge that mindset to make me realize that I could achieve it. Okay, so that's it, guys. I think I've covered everything because I'm trying to understand all my notes here, and I got so excited and I got so off track with so many things that I really love to keep these calls in a half-hour window, and I promise next week I'll be better at that and I won't keep you here for an hour. A big, massive key to your business as well, guys, is integrity. You need to be a product of the product. It's so important. People say to me all the time, what's my number one tip? And it's to be sure that you're a product of the product. If you go to a vice president's house, I can guarantee you that you will not find a body wash, a toothpaste, a hand wash, anything in their home that's not Arbonne. My home is fully Arbonized because I'm all in. This is my business, it's my gig, and I'm going to use things out of my shop. And it says so much about you when people come into your home and see that level of commitment to your business. And the more products you use, the more products you love. And when you love them, you're going to naturally be selling them without even realizing it, you're selling them. You know, it's a really powerful part of the business. So have that integrity there with that. Yeah. And I know we're all moving on to online stuff. So I wanted to mention tonight, and I'll just mention it super quickly, that online is booming. Having an online business is absolutely incredible. I have tried the Brighton stuff, Ames. It's awesome. It's beautiful. Yeah, really, really nice. But yeah, I just in closing, guys, I wanted to touch on the online stuff. How's everyone going with that online social media mastery training from Eric Worre? Good. You finished it, hey, Anita? Yeah, loved it?
It's awesome.
Yeah. Awesome.
I'm only up to module 3, but it's so good.
Oh, awesome. I loved it. I got so much out of it. So much out of it. And I love in the end how he talks about, I'm skipping to the last modules now, but I think it's important to quickly touch base on tonight that he said, you know, yes, social media is fantastic to grow your network and stuff, but understand, guys, that this business grows so much faster. It's so much more effective when you're person to person, belly to belly. Yeah. Nothing can beat that because of that energy that we spoke about earlier that they get to feel. It's so important to bear that in mind, because it's such, you know, I would hate to see people spending, you know, 4 hours a day on social media and then getting to the end of the month and saying, I'm just not getting anywhere in my business, because you're missing those one-on-one times. If they're in another country, you know, I do Zooms like this, what we're doing now, so that I can see and they can see me and they can see my level of energy and things like that. But getting it off the platform, where do I write down? I don't know. Yeah, I can't remember. It's social marketing is great to connect you, but it doesn't do the complete job. Okay, it's so important to know that. It really is. You can't, like, when you have that half-hour coffee with someone, what you get from that probably would take 40 days of messaging on social media to get that relationship. Do you know what I mean? That coffee, or even that one-on-one, say, you know what, I'd love to have a coffee with you over Zoom, because I know you're far away. So can we have a coffee and I can have a chat with you over that? Building them relationships are just so important. So I just wanted to touch on that as well, guys. In a super quick recap, it's such a relationship business. Have those coffee dates. Social media is a great place to meet people, to establish your brand, to show people what you're all about and what is important to you, and become attractive to people. But belly to belly is the key. Them coffee dates are so important. You get the business that you ask for. You might need to concentrate on bridging the gap of your mindset, and vision is everything. Yay! I got it under the hour. I looked at my clock and I'm like, I've got to get this under an hour. I can't keep going. But I have some notes already for next week, so that's pretty cool. But is there any questions, girls? Is there anything that you wanted to know, anything more about in closing?
I think we should have a challenge each week, like for next week.
Ooh.
We've got like a little challenge.
That could be cool. Is that because you loved the Vision Challenge so much?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. Okay, well, how about we do a DMO challenge for the next, what is it today?
Sunday.
What's today? Wednesday. So next week on Wednesday, let's set a DMO challenge that we're going to effectively do our DMO for 7 days straight. Yeah, you can do that. It's in the bag. How you going there, Jess? You've been quiet, which is so unlike you. Judy's there. All right, guys. I loved chatting with you tonight. Thank you so much for jumping on. Reach out to me if you have any questions, and have a great Wednesday night. Thanks for talking, Ames. It was awesome.
No worries. Thanks for letting me.
No worries. See you guys.
See ya.
Bye. Oh, what is DMO? Oh, yeah, you're right, honey. I'll talk to you more about it. Yeah, and explain it to you. That's another, probably 10 minutes worth of explaining. So we'll organise a chat and talk about it soon.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Danny.
No worries, honey. I will talk to you soon. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It's really good.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.